Not now, soldier.
When you hear the name of a big-budget studio like Disney, you probably wouldn't think they take shortcuts. But what if that wasn't true at all? When it comes to animation, shortcuts have been made throughout the entirety of the studio's history. You'll be shocked at just how many animated Disney films copied animation from one another. Number 1. Pulling out hair.
Want to bet? Boo! Oh!
On the surface, the Princess and the Frog and the Sword and the Stone don't really have much in common. But if we take this scene of Lewis and this scene of Madame Mim and put them side by side, you'll think otherwise. The animation of Madame Mim pulling out her hair is the same animation as Lewis. The only difference is, he doesn't have any hair. Princess and the Frog is actually the most recent Disney film to have copied animation. This is because most Disney films nowadays use computerized animation instead. Think Frozen and Moana.
What? Hey, whoa!
Copied animation was used frequently in older films because it saved time and money. But with new tech and a high-budget movie studio, there isn't a need for it anymore, besides maybe for nostalgia purposes. Number 2. Copying fueled by nostalgia.
Not so long as I'm around.
Well, in that case, you're fired.
When The Lion King live action was announced, the world buzzed about its star-studded cast. Beyoncé, Seth Rogen, Donald Glover.
And this is
What?
one of those instances.
That wasn't my thing. You told me about the line.
What more could a Disney fan ask for? Well, the studio really said Hakuna Matata and gave us a nostalgia-filled live action equipped with identical animations to the original film. Now you may be thinking, the new film uses computerized animation, what was the need for copying animation? The most probable answer is nostalgia. Nostalgia sells and Disney knows it.
Whoa, nice one, Simba. Thanks.
Number 3. Buzz's meaningful reflection.
Buzz Lightyear to Star Command. Come in, Star Command.
Have you ever noticed that Buzz Lightyear's first scenes in Toy Story 1 and Toy Story 2 are eerily similar? The scenes both feature the animation of Buzz's reflection in his helmet. While this was probably more of a creative decision rather than a decision made to reduce the budget, it just goes to show how much copying animation can come in handy.
But there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Number 4. They could basically be twins.
Here's the deal.
What's the saying? Like mother, like daughter? That's especially true for Princess Ariel and her daughter Melody. They look almost identical besides Melody having her father's hair color and eyes. However, the similarities don't stop there. If we compare this scene of Ariel swimming to the one of her daughter in part 2, it's easy to recognize that the animation in the two scenes is also identical. Like Toy Story, this totally could have been done as a creative choice. Or maybe having mermaid animation stocked away somewhere was too tempting for animators to resist.
It's just my collection.
Number 5. A not-so-unique ballroom dance. It's a tale as old as time, at least in the world of Disney. Princess meets prince, they fall in love, and then they have an epic ballroom dance scene that'll go down in history.
L'amour.
Well, because the older Disney princess films tended to follow the same story arc, it meant that shared animation between the films wasn't uncommon. For instance, the ballroom dance scenes in both Sleeping Beauty and Beauty and the Beast. The animation of the pair's dance steps is exactly the same. Number 6. Cat Chase. What do Cinderella and 101 Dalmatians have in common? On the surface, not much, but a side-by-side comparison of the films would prove otherwise. This chase scene from Cinderella where the cat Lucifer gets scared by Bruno has the same animation as Sergeant Tibbs getting scared by Jasper. Look at the way both Lucifer and Sergeant Tibbs jump and react before running away. Number 7. The fish just keep swimming.
One side says me.
These two underwater scenes in the original Pinocchio and the original Alice in Wonderland couldn't be more different context-wise. In Pinocchio, we're moving alongside a creepy octopus in what appears to be a dark part of the sea, while the Alice in Wonderland scene is more playful and light as we follow a top-hatted man. But if we divert our attention to the fish in this scene, you'll notice that almost all the animation has been replicated apart from their differing backdrops. Number 8. The Adventure of Christopher and Mowgli. Winnie the Pooh and the Jungle Book don't necessarily have similar storylines, although they're both centered around a boy who is friends with animals. In Christopher Robin's case, stuffed animals. But the similarities between Christopher Robin and Mowgli run deeper than just their love for animals. In these two scenes, the animation of Christopher Robin and Mowgli exploring and climbing rocks are identical. Even the way they stumble is the same. Number 9. Bird bathing.
Those are birds.
Bambi and Alice in Wonderland couldn't be any more different.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
One film is about a baby deer who loses his parents and is forced to encounter his fears and make a new family with his forest friends. And the other is about a young girl who falls down a rabbit hole, literally, and into a fantasy world filled with fantastical creatures and adventures. But one thing they have in common? These two scenes of a bird taking a bath. While the ponds are a little different, the color and animation of the bird are the same. Number 10. Water Under the Bridge. Who knew that this scene of Grumpy getting annoyed and getting, well, grumpy could have so much relevance later on? Almost 30 years after Snow White was released, Disney reused the animation of the scene to create this one of Bagheera hitting his head in the Jungle Book.
Oh, that does it.
Besides the characters looking nothing alike, the animation is definitely reused. Number 11. Dogs in all their forms. Wolves are just big dogs, and nothing proves it better than these two scenes from 101 Dalmatians and The Jungle Book. In 1961, 101 Dalmatians gave us these adorable puppy scenes that are still cute today. Then a few years later, The Jungle Book introduced this pack of wolf pups, who happen to act suspiciously similar to the Dalmatians. If you pay attention to their movements and the wagging of their tails, you'll see that this is another case of Disney reusing animation.
I'm not sleepy. I'm hungry.
Number 12. They could be identical.
You're thinking about somebody with long eyelashes.
It seems like the creators of Robin Hood really took a liking to how The Jungle Book portrayed Baloo's movement. So much so that they went ahead and copied a lot of animation from the film, especially when it came to Little John. Given that they're both bears, it seems only natural that they would take a shortcut like this. In the end, the two characters ended up with a lot of the same mannerisms. Number 13. Elephant Trunks Galore. The similarities between Robin Hood and The Jungle Book don't stop there. It seems like they didn't only take reference when it came to animating Little John.
You know something, Robin? You're taking too many chances.
The elephants in both films move exactly the same, and why wouldn't they reuse animation for this scene? It is the logical thing to do. Number 14. Princess or Maiden. Being one of the first iconic Disney and princess movies to ever exist, it's only natural that going forward, creators of different Disney films would want to take reference from it. And there are plenty of ways we can see that reflected. One being spotting repetitive animation in other films, like this scene of Snow White compared to this one of Robin Hood's Maid Marian. The animations of the two women dancing are the same. Number 15. Like Cat Like Dog. Here's yet another example involving 101 Dalmatians, but this time it's being compared to the Aristocats.
Come on, cats. We gotta split.
In these two scenes, Thomas O'Malley and Sergeant Tibbs have the same animation. The only difference is there aren't a whole bunch of puppies hiding behind Thomas O'Malley. Which copied animation was the most shocking to you? Have you picked up on any other scenes that share the same animation? Let us know in the comments section below. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching The Things Animated.